Live from Raleigh, North Carolina is the SFL, and we have a couple of teams that really need this win. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Ramos Ding. Alongside me in the booth is Anthony Allison. And Anthony, we have a couple of squads that had playoff inspirations to beginning of the season. The Carolina Skyhawks, a couple of seasons back-to-back in the playoffs. They were very close from beating teams such as like the Aztecs, for example, to move on. And they were coming with great expectations here at home facing Lexington. How you doing today? This season has not gone their way for either one of these squads, the Miners or the Skyhawks.
Ramos, it's an absolute pleasure calling a game with you. Like you said, both of these teams, regardless of what you see on the record books, they're still in the hunt. This division right here is up for grabs, and it looks like the first team that can get to 500 is probably going to be able to take this division. So this is going to be wide open.
A couple of teams desperate for a win. The Carolina Skyhawks will get the ball first to start the game. And we are underway from the East Coast here in Raleigh, North Carolina. The return is past the 20, past the 25. A good return at that to the 30-yard line, and that's where we see the Skyhawk offense for the first time. Anthony, a Skyhawk offense that has looked discombobulated. You know, they have a new quarterback obviously at the helm, and Marcus Dunhill, obviously the season 14 league MVP. Just it has gone. It really takes time, you know, to get used to an offense. You will think he will kind of like have things sorted out by the end of the season.
And absolutely, it's going to take some time, and you know, you're trying to get the chemistry together with your receivers, but they have the talent.
Ryan Dynasty, by the way, not Marcus Daniel. That's strike number 1. 1 yard carry for Carolina. We're going to make it a 2nd down and 9 to the 31-yard line. And for Lexington, let's talk about the Lexington Miners at 2-5. You know, for them to still have playoff inspirations, they need to run the table, and it has to start here on the road. 2nd down and 9, single back formation, 3 wide receiver set. They're going to hand the ball off again. This time is Ike McBride. Maybe half a yard, not much more than that. Demora on the stop, and quickly it's a 3rd down and long. And this has been a problem with the Skyhawks, I think, Anthony, is that, you know, they're predictable on offense. It's run on first, run on second, and sometimes you have 3rd and long, and that's pretty difficult to convert. 3rd down and long. To throw on the rollout, pass middle. That pass is caught for a gain of about 13 yards. And the Carolina Skyhawks will move the chains. But I don't think, you know, Anthony, we were, you know, talking about this, you know, in the pregame. You know, it's not sustainable to have just the same kind of like formula, run, pass, and expect to be successful. Defenses are going to key on it.
I mean, if you're going to do something like that, you're going to rely on Chase Earl, who just caught that big 3rd down right there. You're going to have to get something different, like we're seeing right here, pass on 1st down.
Chase Earl has the big slant or a skinny post, and he's off to the races. And the Carolina Skyhawks will have the ball inside the red zone here quickly in the game. This is exactly what they need. They need some explosive plays. They need a spark on offense. And, you know, Chase Earl just got behind the defense. You can see the Lexington defense was expecting a run here.
Back-to-back catches, back-to-back 1st downs right there. I love it. It was a short zone, and they didn't expect the pass to go. He just ran right past 3 defenders for a 1st down. Took it deep into the red zone right here, and this is something that we've been wanting to see Carolina all season do.
Bunch formation for the Skyhawks again. They would hand the ball off to the left-hand side and blown up in the backfield. Great job by Lexington with 3 rushers, with 3 defensive linemen to prevent this from going anywhere.
Now, what we want to see is Lexington. They're giving them up about 109 yards rushing on the ground. Let's see how this defensive line of Lexington do against this running game for Carolina.
Dynasty to throw. Dynasty with time. The pass, leap, and the pass is caught for a touchdown. And the Carolina Skyhawks strike first and quickly. That's number 84, Chris Curtis, the long-time vet, 4 season with Carolina with the touchdown.
And I think this is something they saw on tape. They saw that the secondary might be a tad bit weak for Lexington. It gives up over 215 yards passing, and they came out aggressive. More passes than runs. This is the type of drive we've been waiting for Carolina all season to do. Go out there and be aggressive. You got stud receivers, and they deliver a punch early in the game.
Carolina Skyhawks move the ball 70 yards and put the ball in the end zone. 7-0. Home team takes the lead. Exactly what Carolina needed, obviously. This is a Carolina offense that so far this season scores 10.3 points per game, which is sadly for them far and away the worst in the SFL. They do not turn the ball over, though. Only 9 giveaways this season. But the problem is that they've not thrown the ball down the field. And on this drive, we see a little bit of that change. Gabriel Manning on the return, breaks a tackle, and a solid return by maybe the greatest returner of all time, brings it to the 29-yard line. And we're going to see Lexington's offense on the field, Anthony.
Now, Lexington, this is your chance to respond, and I think we do need to see more of Gabriel Manning. This is the Hall of Famer. This is the person that can carry your team. I've seen him get over 300 yards catching in one game. So this is something that he can definitely do, and this is something for Lexington to get going early.
Twin tight end set and twin wide receiver set on this formation, single back. Handoff will go to the outside. There's not a lot of room there, but somehow a couple yards gained by Deion James, the 4-season vet here with Lexington. Let's introduce you to the Miner offense. Kenny Slider is the quarterback. Deion James, Ian Francis, Alexander West, and Gabriel Manning with Marquis Zango are the wide receivers. DJ Bandit and Chris Alther are the tight ends. As we see a rollout by Slider under pressure, the pass is caught for a first down. That's DJ Bandit on the catch. Ricky LaFleur, Donnie Treverson, Oliver Tarask, Zena West, Phoebe Collins are in the offensive line. And this is a good rollout, a good throw to DJ Bandit. Bandit has been maybe the best offensive player for the Miners this season, Anthony.
Yeah. The 15 catches of the season. He does have a long of 73 yards, so you definitely stretch the field for Lexington.
You know, and the job that he does too, and the reason why I'm calling him one of the best is his job blocking. As you can see on that play, on the double team, James gets the carry for a gain of about 3 yards. You know, DJ Bandit to me is one of the best blocking tight ends, also in the SFL. And you know, we love throw it to the tight end, right? But also, you know, blocking that a tight end gives is very, very valuable. Slider to throw under pressure. The pass is caught. Gabriel Manning will be just shy of the first down. 3rd and inches for the Miner offense. This is where you put the big boys in, Anthony.
Yeah, and you know, you have a big target, 6'4", 215 Gabriel Manning right there, just to show the numbers. Big formation here, just running up the middle. Just get that push.
And off and a fumble on the play. The ball is recovered by an offensive lineman, but that's going to end up being a loss of 7 yards. And the Lexington offense will be forced to punt the football away. That's a big-time hit. I think that was, if I saw correctly, number 90 for Carolina. That's Mojo McClain on the tackle.
And just put the helmet right to the ball right there. I'd rather take the loss of yards than a loss of downs and all that stuff. So they dodge a big turnover there, punt the ball, and go back on defense.
As there's essentially no return, as the Lexington coverage is right there. Let's introduce you to the Carolina Skyhawk offense. Brian Dynasty is the quarterback. Riley Quintero and Ike McBride are the halfbacks. The fullback is Tori Hanso. Wide receivers Nolan Pierce, Chase Earl, Adam Banks, and Chris Curtis, who already has a touchdown. Tony Zoma and Gibson Reichenbacher are the tight ends. In the offensive line, Brookie Burr, Kate Palmer, Ricky Rigatoni, and Chris Cross. Hand off to the outside, nothing doing. Riley Quintero gets stuffed for only about a 1-yard gain, and the 37 J Rock on the stop.
Good stop right there by Lexington on a weak side run there. And you know, what we saw differently in that first drive for Carolina is they're passing the ball on early downs. This is something I would love to see right here on 2nd down.
3 wide receivers set and a man in motion. It's going to be Chase Earl going from right to left. Had a great drive last time Carolina was on the field. Roll out, pass. The pass is caught. Chris Curtis, another big-time catch for Curtis. And he has about 20 yards for another Carolina first down.
And Ramos, we knew that they had this type of talent on their team with Chase Earls and Curtis and Adam Banks. Like, they have good receivers that want to go down the field. I love it. You roll out to the right and have a drag on that backside over the middle.
Carolina up to 91 offensive yards here just midway through the first quarter. One of the best quarters we've seen from Carolina's offense, as this toss breaks a tackle. McBride gets about 5 and turns it, maybe just a half-yard gain into 5, and it's going to be 2nd and 5.
And I love it. Makes it up here. Good run, 5 yards. You get 4 to 5 yards on a run. That's going to set you up for you being unpredictable on 2nd and 3rd down, because you can pass it if you want to.
Man in motion this time. That's going to be number 40, Tony Soma. Handoff goes to Quintero again, and he's got about a yard. Make it 3rd down and 4. Carolina has been good so far on 3rd downs.
So far, like I said, that big completion, the first drive by Chase Earl here. Let's see if they go back to that. But unfortunately, right there, you got to set up for a good pass play coming up.
Split backs formation. Tends to throw. Buys time in the pocket. Throws. The pass is caught. Chris Curtis wide open in the middle of the field. And it's another big gain for Chris Curtis. And the Carolina offensive line doing a really nice job giving Dynasty the time.
And time in the pocket is very important for that completion. You got to slide in the pocket. But the thing is, for Dynasty, it's keeping your eyes down the field and delivering it straight and not worrying about the pass rush.
Lexington's defense trying to get a stop. Dynasty to throw. Dynasty throws short. The pass is incomplete into double coverage. Chase Earl was the intended receiver. This Lexington defense, Chris Andrews, R.C. Puff, Berto De Mora, and Mike Mello, with Brenda Puff and Jaden Swift, compose the defensive line. Philadelphia Collins, Iggy Turner, and Tony Roberto are the linebackers. Nate Haslip, J. Rock, Cameron Shaw, Travis Arthur, and Marcus Swift are the DBs. Dynasty to throw. Dynasty throws middle. The pass is caught again. And another good throw. This one to Gibson Rickenbacker. First catch of the night for the rookie tight end.
3-step drop and get the ball out of your hands. Good job right now by the offensive line for Carolina. Bricky Blur, Kate Palmer, Regan Regatoni, and Chris Cross. They're doing a great job with the 3-step drop and just giving enough time for the quarterback to deliver a strike.
This Carolina offense averages 124 passing yards a game, and Dynasty is already at that mark here to start the game. In the first quarter still, Chris Curtis goes in motion. Handoff goes to Quintero. Quintero will get about 2 yards. It's been a rough first quarter for Riley Quintero this time. Tackle made on the outside. Looks like Berto De Mora on the stop. Chris Andrews.
A good job by Carolina so far, 135 total yards in the first quarter alone. This is the aggressiveness and the tempo that we wanted to see out of this team.
Empty formation now for Dynasty. Rollout. Dynasty throws across his body, and the pass is caught. That is another one for Banks. And look, Dynasty is absolutely dealing. This is like season 14 Dynasty that we're seeing right now.
Threw it in a literal box. 4 defenders around Banks, but knowing that you have this chemistry with your receivers, you have the trust of throwing in there. Look, they can catch the ball, and they want to get contact right there. So now you're setting up. Now you can run the football.
1st and goal. Heavy formation with 2 backs and 2 tight ends. Handoff. McBride not going to get there. Stuff right there at the line. Tackle made on the inside by big number 99, Jaden Swift. 12 seasons all here with Lexington, part of that Tulsa Desperado franchise.
Yeah, that's a good play to stop that run right there. McBride, she definitely wanted to get the end zone. Now we're going to see the other running back, Quintero, in the backfield.
Tight formation with 2 backs again. Handoff. Quintero dives in for a touchdown, and Carolina has 13 on the board.
And another successful drive by mixing up the run and pass. And when you make that stuff a balanced offense, that defense doesn't know what you're going to do. You mix it up by throwing it on first and second down comparing to running it. You're running it when there's a passing situation, and you caught them off guard for another score.
Carolina Skyhawks scored 13 points per game here at home and already surpassing that mark. 14-0 Skyhawks over Miners, and we've only seen the Miner offense once here in the first quarter. We're going to see them again, and they're already down by 2 touchdowns. You know, they will need a big play from one of their playmakers. You know, this is where Gabriel Manning has to step up.
Absolutely, to stop the bleeding here. And you don't have to try to force it. You don't have to try to throw it down the field on one play. Just collect yourself and get a good, solid drive together.
So the Miner offense will start from the 20-yard line. You can already see the discrepancy here in total yards. Carolina has more points than Lexington does have total yards here in the first quarter. 2 tight end set, handoff is going to go to the outside, a big stiff arm and a good gain of about 9 yards for Lexington's offense. That's going to be Ian Francis with the carry, the former Predator running back.
Yeah, and that's a run that you want to do on first down. Good stiff arm right there, able to get a couple more yards after the contact, and now you set yourself up for a 2nd and 1, and this is what you want to see for Lexington, just a good positive yardage gain.
2nd down, 1 yard to go. 2 tight ends set. Handoff again. That's going to be Deion James, who will get about 3 and a first. So the Lexington offense moves the chains. And, you know, the way we see the roster, Anthony, I mean, there's no reason why Lexington should be struggling this much on offense, and only 17 points per game. And they have guys such as Gabriel Manning, Alexander West, Deion James, Ian Francis. These are veteran guys. Another run goes to Ian Francis, and he's running hard again on that play, 7 yards, maybe the last play of the first quarter.
And back-to-back plays, we saw DJ Bannett in the fullback position to play before, and in the traditional tight end position, blocking for your running back. That's what you love to see.
End of 1. It's all Carolina here to start the game, but Lexington is on the move. 14-0 Skyhawks. You're watching the Simulation Football League here on BFN. And aerial coverage is provided by Dags Drone Works, aerial photography and videography services. Here from Raleigh, North Carolina. One of the spots in which probably, Anthony, you know, it's been talked about, you know, maybe another convention in the East Coast, and somewhere in North Carolina, maybe Raleigh has been brought up in the past. It would be cool to be here near the Skyhawk Stadium, as this is going to be another first down for Francis.
And
it's not Yep.
Yeah, another good run up the middle by Francis there. They're giving him the rock this drive.
And this offensive line coming together here on this drive, giving space to the running backs to run the ball. Man in motion is going to be number 83, Chris Alter. First season here with Lexington. The handoff is going to go to Deion James, but nothing doing there on the outside. They actually got the blocker away from the flow of the play, and McLean was open to make the tackle.
Yeah, you got to switch it, run to that strong side right there, especially when you took the blocker away. Good job by that defensive end, keeping containment and stopping the run in the backfield.
Slider to throw. Slider under pressure, finds the hole, and Slider slides down for a gain of about 8 yards. 3rd down and 3. Good decision made by Kenny Slider there.
Absolutely. Pressure was coming, stepped up in the pocket, saw the linebackers bailed out in coverage, and got a good amount of those yards back.
3rd down and 3, I formation. Another handoff, and this one is going to be stuffed for no gain. McLean on the stop again. Another 3rd down stop by Mojo McLean, and a promising drive for Lexington goes for naught as they will have to punt.
coming in today with 43 tackles. Mojo McClain made 2 back-to-back really good plays there to force Lexington to punt the ball.
Good punt to the 25. Not much of a return, just to about the 26-yard line. And this is where Carolina's offense will come back to the field, and they've looked unstoppable, Anthony. I mean, this is a game where probably, just by the stats, right? You're looking at, the first team that gets the 20 points wins, type ordeal. But Carolina has been unbelievable so far. First down and 10. 3 receiver set this time. Nickel defense for Lexington, as they send a man in motion. It's going to be Nolan Pierce. Hand off to the inside on an inside zone play. Gets about 7 yards. Riley Quintero having to fight for every yard. This is, kudos to the Lexington defense. They've been pretty solid against the run.
Yeah, and what's been doing it for Carolina is airing the ball out, but they're doing a good job keeping the run game involved, but it's been the passing.
Another handoff, and this is a good one. Ike McBride has had a little bit better success. McBride has against this defense, and just to your point, you have to run the ball, Anthony, to keep those passing lanes open, right? You have to keep the balance, because if you just go pass all the time, then Lexington is gonna adjust to that. But so you have to keep the defense honest.
Yeah, good job with that run, McBride up the middle. She followed right behind their fullback Hanzo. They got to the second level and made a good block on that linebacker.
Empty set. Dynasty to throw. Dynasty goes deep, and another completion for Brian Dynasty. A beautiful throw on the outside. Chris Curtis is making this defense pay, and it's another big gain for the Skyhawk offense.
And that Chris Curtis wanted to be more involved in the passing game, and this is what they're doing. Recognize it's a cover 2 shell. You need to get right behind that cornerback in the flats right there, but right before the safeties. That's a good throw by Dynasty.
It's one of the toughest throws to make, that hole shot between the corner and the safety. And Dynasty delivers a perfect pass. Empty set, Dynasty to throw, throws quickly, and the pass is intercepted. He airmailed that one. So from maybe his, a top 3 throw of the night to his worst throw of the night, the Lexington Minor defense takes that one away.
I don't mind the route. It's a clear out route, a streak up the middle. You just led the receiver way too far, and that safety right there, Travis Arthur, was waiting and lurking to get the interception right there, the 4th of the season.
You were talking about Chris Curtis wanting to get the ball more. So far, he came into the game with only 18 catches for 250 yards, and already approaching 100 here in the first half. It's been a good change in the bright spot of this Carolina offense. Slider to throw. Slider who's in the pocket. The pass is going to be caught for for a first down. That's Alexander West, and Alexander West moves the chain. Maybe that's the play that they needed defensively to light up a spark, Anthony.
Yeah, that turnover. Let's see if you can get some points off of the turnover right there. That's a crossing route. You recognize you got man coverage. One of the man coverage beaters is doing drags across the field and mixing up the cornerbacks.
First down and 10, single back formation. That's going to be Ian Francis in the backfield. 2 tight end set. Handoff on the stretch. Ian Francis gets to the outside, and a solid tackle in the open field. 3-yard gain.
Good solid tackle right there. When you do that stretch run, you need to still hit it more to the outside. No need to cut back in. You had a lot of daylight on the outside.
I like to split the carries between the backs. Deion James coming into the game with 104 carries. Ian Francis with 51. Slider will throw. Slider on the drag route, incomplete. A good hit provided by Stinson. And again, it's another one of those, where the ball is in the money, Anthony, and you have to come up with it. You have to make the catch. That's an all-star receiver.
Yeah, Manning has to come down with it there. Now we're 3rd and 7. This is where, Carolina is going to pinch their defensive end to go after the quarterback.
Empty set. Man in motion. That's DJ Bandit going from right to left. And it's a YN. Slider throws, Sliders now scrambles, and Slider, can he get to the first down? No, he tried to truck the defender, falls forward, but a 4th and inches. Skippy Curtis on the stop, and if I'm Lexington, Anthony, I'm going for this. It looks like they're gonna bring up the punting unit, but with this possession of the field after the turnover, I would go for this, man.
Yeah, you gotta look at the analytics and what. Like,
fake, and they're gonna try to throw, and they're gonna get stopped for a big loss. Carolina not fooled. Prasad on the tackle, and I gotta say, Anthony, from when they lined up for the punt, I was like, there's no way they're gonna punt this ball, and Carolina was all over that one.
My thing is, Ramos, if you're going for it, set up in your offense. I wouldn't want, no offense to the punter, but you have a quarterback that's doing this for a living. Let the quarterback do it and just take the chance with your offense on the field.
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, you have a couple of backs, Dion James and Ian Francis. Ian Francis is, eating this defense alive. I mean, in 4th and inches. Oh, that's a great catch. That's a sensational catch, one-handed by Adam Banks. And this Carolina receivers are eating tonight.
The trio of Earl, Banks, and Curtis have really came to play today. They heard the rumblings that Carolina is a predictable offense. 1st down, 2nd down, running, 3rd down, passing. Today, they're coming out on 1st and 2nd down, throwing strikes down the field.
From the 30-yard line, Carolina with a chance to really put Lexington in a tough position in this game. Handoff goes to Quintero. He breaks a tackle. Best run of the night for Riley. Gets 5.
And I give credit to offensive coordinator Prasad that literally saw the adjustments that need to be made for this team. They're not out of this division race right here, but it starts with this game and being more aggressive on offense.
Lexington looks like they're expecting that run. They have 8 players in the box. Here's the run, and they still cannot stop it as Ike McBride gets 4. They make it a 3rd down and 1. Carolina does have Riley Quintero, Ike McBride, and Hattori Hanso in the backfield, so you'll expect they will go to one of those guys here, Anthony.
Yeah, keep it on the ground. You got Quintero in the backfield, a little bit more shiftier, wants to get to the line of scrimmage as quickly as possible.
It's going to be that handoff, Quintero, easy. 1st down. It's about 4 yards, and a move the chains for the Skyhawks.
So what they have is Quintero, who likes to make the one-cut run, and then McBride, she comes in, and she's going to lower her head, and she wants to make contact with any and everyone, including the referee.
Single back formation this time, handoff, and they read that one. Only a 1-yard gain, but really good scheme right there by the Lexington defense as Tony Roberto gets the stop.
And I appreciate that they're not scared to be aggressive and throw the ball after throwing the interception right here. They want to keep Lexington off balance.
Bunch formation. Handoff again. This is a good block. And in a few is Carolina. Make it a 3rd down. 3rd and 5.
And I love that play call because you're in a passing formation. You got trips.
Yeah.
That means that defense need to come out and nickel defense. The box is lighter to run the football.
Make it a more 3rd and manageable. 3rd down and 5. Dynasty to throw. Dynasty eluding the blitz and now goes down for about a 2-yard loss. 1st sack of the night. Tony Roberto not back to back, but 2 great plays in a 3-play span. Carolina will have to try the field goal here. Good hustle.
And good hustle coming from the other side of the field to go across and make that sack and a good stop on 3rd down for Lexington.
So from 31 yards out, Carolina trying to tack 3 more on the board. That's Malone Brown, and Brown hooks it right and in for 3 points. 17-0 Carolina leads this game. You're watching the Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on BFN, the SFL Week 12 continues through Monday, and the SFLM has a triple header on Tuesday. No other network gives you more football. The SFL lives on BFN. By the way, yesterday we had the UFL championship game, and I'm not gonna give the spoiler if you wanna check it, because it's very much worth checking it. The Dakota Rhinos and the in Dallas. You know, they had a great season, both of them, and they had a sensational championship game. So I strongly recommend people to go back and watch it. Two tight end sets, single back formation. Slider to throw. Slider throws into double coverage, and the pass is almost picked off. McLean around the play, 2nd down and 10.
Good job right there, Carolina. Like getting back into your zone. Lexington picked up the blitz that you had going on, and you almost got away with an interception.
2nd down and 11 yards to go. Two tight ends and two receivers with a single back. Looks like man-to-man coverage. Slider throws. The pass is incomplete off the hands of Alexander West. 3rd and 10 upcoming, and it's yet another 3rd and long for the Miners.
Davison Joseph right there with the stop, recognizing man-on-man coverage. It was only you out there, and Davison made a beautiful play.
Empty set from the shotgun. First time we see the shotgun from Lexington. And Slider will throw. Slider pump fakes and goes down the offensive line. As Michael Trillo will say, went out for lunch. Danny Stinson with the big-time takedown, 4th and 20.
I love the play call, the blitz on 3rd down here. Stinson was lined up in the defensive end slot in that dime coverage and just got right past that offensive tackle for a stop.
2-minute warning, just too much speed on the outside from Danny Stinson. Completely unblocked off the edge. And this Lexington offense is just stuck in neutral right now, as Carolina will have really good field position to try to attack more points on the board before we get to halftime. It's going to be a fair catch call at the 46-yard line, so already in Lexington territory. This Carolina Skyhawk offense has been cooking tonight. 211 total yards here in the first half. And it's been somewhere through running the ball. You know, they had some success with, especially with Ike McBride. Quintero does have that touchdown, and it's been mostly on the passing of Dynasty. From the 46, I formation, 3 wide receivers. Handoff. This one is going to be man at the line. Still getting a couple yards as Quintero for a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 upcoming, and no need to call your timeouts. You want to be the last team to score if you're the Skyhawks.
Especially because you get the ball back after half.
Yeah. Man-to-man coverage here for Lexington. Let's see if they can stop this. They're going to run it again, and McBride will get a couple more. Now it's 3rd and 6.
My apology. Carolina got the ball first. Lexington would get the ball back at half, so you kind of want to use your timeouts.
Yeah. Now, you do want to make sure you're in scoring position before you call your timeouts. This is going to be a 3rd and 6, still not in field goal range. Dynasty dropping back to throw. Throws, and the pass is incomplete. Really good deflection at the very last second. The pressure was coming from the backside. Dynasty had to get rid of it.
Yeah, and Marco Swift right there knocking it down, playing that underneath coverage from that the safety position. 4th down here, and they're going for it.
They're going for it on 4th down and 6. 4 wide receivers set. Dynasty to throw. Dynasty throws outside, and the pass is intercepted. Brought back to about the 44-yard line, and that's Dynasty's 2nd interception of the first half.
J-Rock was all over that play, recognizing that he had help underneath, just slid right underneath in the flat play, looking for the crossing route. That's what they were looking for Chase Earl. Saw the play earlier in the game, had great play recognition, and now they're setting up so they can score.
That's good film study, you know, just sitting on the outside, knew that the out route was coming, and, you know, to your point, you had linebackers and safeties on the inside. Slider to throw. Slider goes deep, and the pass is almost given back to the Skyhawks. And that's McLean again, who's been probably the best defender for the Skyhawks tonight.
Playing the run and going after the quarterback, and now in pass coverage, all over the place this first half.
Already with a forced fumble. And now a pass deflection. Four receivers, slider to throw, slider with time, throws it deep, and the pass is incomplete. Well played by the defender. I think that is, that's number 20 on the play, Rochelle Colston, coming back to Carolina after a long stint, obviously, with the LA Lakers.
Yeah, and they're glad that she's back playing that center field for their defense.
Dime set for Carolina, 5 receivers for the Miners. DJ Bandit goes in motion. Slider to throw. Slider throws deep. The pass is incomplete off the hands of Bandit, and that's Mike Ryan, the free safety, with a big-time hit, and another 3 and out for this Lexington offense with only 46 total yards here in the first half.
Those bang plays right there. Good job by Mike Ryan, waiting for the ball to get there right at the perfect time to deliver a hit. That's very frustrating for Lexington. 2 turnovers, 0 points.
Turn from the 18-yard line, a good move, and bringing it back to the 28 is Nolan Pierce. And, you still have 3 timeouts. Anthony, do you stay aggressive here?
You stay aggressive to a T, but you got to make sure you don't want to give more turnovers. It's already been a good half for you, Carolina, but you don't want to keep on throwing the ball away.
First down and 10, bunch formation. It's going to be a handoff to the outside. That is Quintero with a gain of about 5 yards. And I think they're content with a 17-point lead. And I don't blame him either, Anthony, because the defense has played so well. Right now it's more of, let's not turn the ball over. Let's not give Lexington a short field. Going to be another handoff to McBride. See if she can get anything going. Got 7. Maybe about a tackle or 2 away from going to the house, but that's going to be the end of the second quarter of play. And Anthony, just shocking, a really good, a good surprise here for the Carolina faithful offensively. The defense has not been the issue this season for the Skyhawks. The defense, all things considered, has been, in my opinion, solid this year. But they really have to, had to. Respond on offense. They've done it tonight.
An absolute pleasant surprise by Carolina and their fans to come out in the first half to be aggressive. They've been wanting this so bad to go out there. They have the receivers. They did it. The offensive line is phenomenal to protect your quarterback dynasty as much as you have. They result with 17 points. Lexington, they're not doing bad on defense. They got 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions. It's that offense. You just need one drive to get you some type of points on the board to get you back in this game. We still got a whole half a ball left to play.
Chris Curtis is your player of the first half. 4 grabs, 74 yards, and a touchdown. And we're going to be right back after a very short break. Anthony Ellison and Ramos Lynn here on the call on this Saturday night game between the Lexington Miners and the Carolina Skyhawks. The 2-5 Miners coming into Raleigh, North Carolina, and the Skyhawks have played a really good first half offensively and defensively. They lead 17-0 as Gabriel Manning will get this return to about the 27-yard line, and that's where the Miner offense will come to the field. And Anthony, they have to respond here after half. Make some, halftime adjustments, and they're down by 3 scores, so they need to score quickly.
And you just want to see your receivers hold on to the ball. I know these are hard hits over the middle, but that's the difference between winning and losing. It's holding on to the football, making the catches, and making those first downs that you need.
Trips to the left side, tight end on the right. It's going to be a handoff. That's Deion James, and a solid start to the drive. Gets 7. 2nd and 3 coming up.
Good solid run, 7 yards on first down right here. So now you're sitting here, you can run the football again, but I also want to see more of that passing game come about.
2 tight ends and 2 backs in an offset backfield. Slider will throw. Slider protected. Throws deep, and the pass is almost picked off by Rochelle Colston on the pass deflection. 3rd down and 3 upcoming.
And what the Skyhawks are doing, they're saying you have to pass it to somebody else but Manning or Bandit. They're trying to force you to pass it to other people because they are just blanketing these receivers.
Another offset backfield with 2 tight ends. Slider drops back to throw. Slider throws middle, and the pass is caught this time. A good, solid catch into pretty tight coverage. That was number 88, Marquise Sango, the wide receiver.
And just like I'm talking about here, you got to pass it to other people there. Sanko's with the 6th catch of the season is who's going to step up and create those plays for the Miners.
Single back, 2 tight ends. Handoff to the outside, more of an outside zone. That's going to be a gain of 2 yards. Stinson on the stop, 2nd down and 8. And, that's something that Carolina has done really well on 1st down defensively, forcing, Lexington into like 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10s. It's really put Lexington behind the 8 ball. Play action, Slider with time. Slider goes deep, and the pass is incomplete. Double coverage. DJ Bandit, again, to your point. They're covering Bandit, they're covering Gabriel Manning, and just, they're daring to, beat him with other people.
The secondary for Carolina, they Hatley, TD Jack, Davidson Joseph, Curtis, Ryan, Colson, they came to play. They are saying, try us and test us any way possible.
Ian Francis goes in motion, and an empty set from the gun. Slider to throw. Slider, pump fakes. Slider will go down. Another good rush for the Carolina defense on 3rd down. And, they're just not, he's not getting protected here on these passing sets. Stinson applies the pressure first, and then it is number 56, LJ Hobbs, cleaning up the play.
Getting his 2nd sack of the season right there. Hobbs just fighting through all of the tackles, rips and swim moves to get to the quarterback to stop them for a 4th down right there. And this is Carolina pitching a shutout so far.
That's what we call scat protection, as this is going to be a return up to about the 29, making the 28-yard line. Scat protection is just the 5 offensive linemen blocking, right? There's no tight end blocking. There's no halfback blocking. It's only 5 offensive linemen, and you have 5 receivers going in routes. And those 5 guys right now are not able to block the 4 defensive linemen for Carolina. It's been a problem.
And I don't even think it's about the blocking. It's just the receivers getting open, the separation of it. They had time in the pocket for a while.
Speaking about good offensive line play, 7 yards here by Riley Quintero, and you can tell this offensive line of Carolina, as the game has progressed, they've played better and better, and this Lexington defensive line probably getting tired of being on the field for this much.
Yeah, now you can lean on your running game, tire out this defensive line here.
Another handoff, that's going to be Ike McBride, who gets out of a jam and gets 2 more. Tony Roberto on the stop, 3rd and 1.
Keep it on the ground.
Yep. I fully expect another heavy set here. And that's exactly what they will do. 2 backs, 2 tight ends. Handoff goes off tackle and easily picking up a 1st down, about 7 yards for Riley Quintero, and another move of the chains, Carolina.
Very balanced on the carry distribution for the Skyhawks here. 14 for Quintero, 9 attempts for McBride.
3 wide receiver set. They're going to keep it on the ground. That's going to be McBride, and McBride gets combo tackled for only a gain of 2 yards. J. Rock, who had that interception near the end of the second quarter, comes up with a stop.
And J-Rock is playing a really great game for this Miners defense here. Just need for their offense just to help them out a little bit.
Three receiver set, Dynasty to throw. Dynasty middle, the pass is caught. Chris Curtis, who had a sensational first half, 4 catches, over 70 yards and a touchdown, gets another reception there.
And I love it. They're not holding the ball for long. 3-step drop and get the ball out your hands. It's a slant route, and the slant route is very important. If you hold on to the slant route, that's where the defense can come and play. But when you can just get the ball out of your hands right at that 3rd drop, that's money.
Yeah, the timing for Dynasty has been really good in this game. Another handoff. Riley Quintero, he gets the room, breaks a tackle. Quintero gets about 15 yards, and another Carolina Skyhawk first down.
And now they're just doing whatever they need to in this game right here. Running it on the outside. Look at the blocking by the receivers. This is just a wonderful thing to see. Not just catching the ball, but blocking for your running back.
It's the most underrated quality for a receiver, the blocking. When you see the best offenses, like always, whether it's, here in the SFL or in the NFL or whatever you want to call it, as McBride gets a couple more, you look at how the receivers block, right? You look at the great offenses from, like, say, the 49ers, right? Where, when they run the ball all over the place, and you can see all the receivers blocking. It's just a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, it's showing how much of a complete package of a player you are in a team.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Toss play to the outside. Quintero gets the block. Make it about a 3-yard gain. 3rd and 5 upcoming here for Carolina.
So let's see if Lexington can hold them here to another potential field goal. They did that the last time they were out. Right now, if I'm the Skyhawks, I'm going to throw the ball. I got all the confidence in the world right now.
They're going to keep it on the ground. They have also a lot of confidence in this offensive line, and it pays dividends. 6-yard gain. And, I mean, that's just saying right now our guys are better than your guys.
Yeah, smash mouth football, running it out of a passing formation off the left tackle side right there and just getting a first down and keep the clock moving.
Empty set now, so they switch it up completely to a passing formation. Dynasty to throw. Dynasty gets crushed as he was trying to hit Chris Curtis. See if Dynasty can get up. Looks like he's fine, but that's a big hit in the backfield.
Yeah, you don't want your quarterbacks to take those hits. So, you know, just got to be careful, but that's the pressure that we want Lexington to have going forward.
Second down, 10 yards to go. 3 receivers. Another throw, Dynasty. This time is protected. Dynasty tries to scramble and goes down right there at the line of scrimmage. Third down and 9. And another passing situation here for Carolina. But I also like this from Dynasty in the sense, Anthony, where it's like, if it's not open, don't throw it, right? Like, don't force a giveaway. You know, your defense has been so good. As long as you don't turn the football over, you know, you should be in a good spot to win this game.
Exactly. Don't force it into coverage like we see these quarterbacks do.
Dynasty again with time. Dynasty surveys the pass deep. The pass is caught at the 1-yard line. A beautiful pass and great catch. Adam Banks has had about 3 of them in tight coverage. And the ball will be positioned inside the 1. I was actually shocked he didn't get in the end zone. Maybe worth a challenge.
Yeah, but to get that time in the pocket, shout out to Katie Palmer, the right tackle. She did a stonewall job to keep them in the pocket to deliver a throw. And I think that might be a touchdown. Let's see where the nose of the football did it cross the plane.
We're going to take a look at this one. First off, the protection given to Dynasty. Only 3 rushers, and he had all day to throw. That's a tough angle. I don't know if he got there.
After review, the play stands. The player did not cross the plane. Buffalo will be charged.
And the ruling on the field stands. So sadly for Adam Banks, he will not get his first touchdown as a member of the Carolina Skyhawks. And here on 1st and goal, I'm afraid for him. It's Riley Quintero time.
Yeah.
But Dynasty over 200 yards passing already. Just under 3 quarters played. 1st and goal. Handoff. Nothing there. Stonewall for a 2-yard loss as the Mora and the rest of this Lexington defense pushes the pile.
I don't know. It still might be Banks be able to get his first touchdown. Let's see here. I know they're going to try to run the football again. Looks like Quintero's in the backfield.
He's going to get the handoff and not able to get there. And I think that's McBride, actually. Gets back to about the half-yard line. But Lexington trying to make a monumental stop here to keep it within 3 scores. 3rd and goal. Handoff. 3rd time's the charm. Touchdown, Carolina.
And that's will, and that's strength, and that's dominance. You run 3 straight times at this defense. It's very tiring for that defensive line there. They're doing everything they can. But Carolina has just been dominating on the offensive side the whole entire game, and that shows on that drive right there.
Carolina Skyhawks came to play 24-0 at home. 15 plays, 72 yards. Capped off with a touchdown. 300-plus yards of offense for Carolina, as Lexington is still nowhere near 100.
Yeah, and just playing outstanding ball on each side of the field. We haven't really seen, this is the most points that Carolina has scored all season, and what a perfect time.
And they've been able to neutralize Gabriel Manning on the returns as well, as he's forced to take a knee, and the Miner offense will come to the 20-yard line. I know it's the 3rd quarter, Anthony, but it seems to be now or never here for the Miners.
Yeah, you have to withstand all these blows that are coming from Carolina here, but this is very important.
1st down and 10, 2 tight ends, handoff to the outside. That's Ian Francis with some room. Good tackle made by Mike Ryan, a 9-yard pickup. This is a Lexington defense, Anthony, that has played better on the road than they have at home, surprisingly. At home, they allow a league high 30 points per game. But on the road, they're 6th best in the SFL, only allowing 20 points a game. And Carolina has well surpassed that mark, as James will be short of the 1st down, actually. 3rd and inches may be worth a challenge now for the Miners.
And I'm just a big fan of the 3 linebackers for Carolina 43 defense. The fact is you have those linebackers are going after the ball and they're playing the pass coverage. So kudos to them.
Heavy split back formation. Handoff. Francis tries to find the opening. Does. Only about a 2-yard gain. 1st and 10. As he's able to move the chains.
And even like right there when you break in the tackle, the rest of there's somebody else on the defense is coming to make a play right behind you. It's just group defense and just hard for the Miners to get something going.
Slider to throw, goes deep, the pass is caught. That is DJ Bandit, and DJ Bandit has a big gain all the way to the Skyhawk 45-yard line. Good recognition by Slider.
Good play right there, just a wheel route going right into that pocket of the zone coverage there, and that's a play that you need for the Miners to get things going.
Make it the 44. 2 tight ends set again for Lexington. They're going to stretch it out to Deion James. He has a lot of room and good blocking on the outside. Look at DJ Bandit, gets a big-time catch, and then on the very next play, pushes a defender like 15 yards down the field.
Yep, and you said it. We said it earlier in the game, blocking and catching. That's the dual threat of DJ Bandit right there, doing everything that he can for the team. So let's see if they can respond.
Bunch formation with a tight end right. Slider to throw, goes deep, and the pass is incomplete. Really good deflection by number 42. That is Davison Joseph on the deflection. 2nd and 10.
Good stop by Joseph right there, because it looks like that was going to be another completion. Second pass deflection for Joseph. Had one just like that, similar in the first half.
Single back ace for Lexington. With a man in motion, make it a 2 tight end set on the left-hand side. Slider throws, slider quickly, passes almost picked off. Well read again, Davis and Joseph almost got the interception.
That was a close play on both sides, because I thought that was going to be a catch, but great job by Davis and Joseph. Another pass deflection, back-to-back plays.
Empty formation, dime defense for Carolina. For Lexington. Dime defense for Carolina and empty for Lexington. Man in motion. 3rd and long. Slider to throw. Slider with time. Pats the ball, throws deep. The pass is caught by Bandit, and Bandit tries to stretch for a touchdown. Doesn't get there. Will be tackled at the 1-yard line. Well, that's a great route, catch, and run after the catch for DJ Bandit.
Ran right after the safety playing the center field. Just threw the big frame, the 6'2" frame in front, and made a catch. And now in the red zone for the first time today. And let's see if they can complete this drive.
Not before the offense and defense has to walk 99 yards to the other side of the field. It's the end of the 3rd quarter. Carolina 24, Lexington nothing, but they're 1 yard away for breaking the 0. You're watching the Simulation Football League here on BFN. Anthony Ellison and Ramos Lynn here on the call. Thanks for joining us. As the Lexington Miners try to put the ball in the end zone for the first time tonight. Slider will throw. Slider to the outside. Caught. Touchdown. Gabriel Manning.
It doesn't matter how much you double team, you triple team. There's a reason why he's an absolute legend in the game. Just smart awareness, aware to sit, curl route in the zone, know where the zone coverage is. Just give yourself a target for your quarterback. That's a drive Lexington wanted.
Fighting all the way with Davis and Joseph, and finally coming back to the ball. Good throw by Kenny Slider on that one, as Lexington will put their first points of the night, 24-7 now. And not sure you, Anthony, if I'm Lexington, probably I would have gone for 2 here to keep it a 2-possession game. What do you think?
It started the 4th quarter here. Your defense has played relatively good. You got 2 turnovers. So let's see if you can get a 3rd one here. And maybe there, if I'm Carolina, I'm running the football and chewing clock.
Yeah, especially in the second half, right? And in the first half, the game was at 17-0, but in the second half, Carolina has only scored 7 points. So yeah, you still have a lot of time here in the 4th. They do need to get a quick stop here. As you can see, the total yards in the second half. Now, Lexington now already outgaining the Skyhawks. Empty set. Dynasty to throw. Dynasty with a rush. Scrambles inside. Makes a juke move and almost gets the first down. Really good scramble here by Dynasty. Almost looked like a quarterback draw.
Yeah, it looks like a play design was for that. I guess they've seen the linebackers bail out on passes, so that's a good play call. That's completely different.
By the way, something that I don't want to go unnoticed. This is a hell of a uniform matchup. I'm loving both uniforms. Carolina with great helmets, the red helmets with the wings, and Lexington with a traditional orange and kind of like powderish blue. As this is about a loss of about half a yard, 3rd and 1, and Lexington really needs to get off the field here.
This is a stop you really need. I'm sending pressure. You know they're going to run the football. You want to stop them here.
You know that they're gonna run the football. That doesn't mean that you're gonna stop it. Ike McBride gets a long gain for a first down. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't care. I was so happy when Ike McBride, got out of my division. She was a menace when she was with Lone Star and such a tough player to defend.
Yeah, she wants all the smoke. She wants the contact. She wants to push you down, stiff arm. Beautiful.
Quintero gets the inside zone and about 6 yards on the play, 2nd down and 4. And now they're gaining yards on the rush, per chunks, right? Like at the beginning of the game, it was only 1, 2 yards. Now we've seen more of those 7, 8, 9 yard carries.
That one cut by Quintero, I love it. Act like you're going outside, plant your back foot, and then just cut up the middle.
2nd down, 4. Handoff again. McBride again gets the 1st down, 5 yards. Move the chains. Swift on the tackle.
Now you're seeing both of those running backs powering up there. McBride, I love it. Saw that the middle was taken up. Just a nice little bounce to the outside, getting that 1st down. Clock still running.
Empty set. Dynasty to throw. Dynasty throws deep and almost gave it away. Really, really good play by Iggy Turner, the linebacker, making the pass deflection.
Sometimes if you can't get to the ball, just jump up and knock it down. That's exactly what we saw there.
Skating in the lane, putting his hands up, jumping, and just completely blocked that passing lane for the quarterback. So man in motion, that's going to make it a trip set on the right-hand side. So 4 receivers total on the right. And Dynasty will throw. Pass. The pass is intercepted and being returned to the 46-yard line. That's the error that you don't want to have if you're Carolina. Dynasty just gave it away.
Yeah, and 41, Cameron Shaw just sitting in that zone waiting for it. You didn't need to throw the ball there. I'm not throwing the football. I don't need to. I have 2 running backs that's getting 3 to 4 yards on run. And now Lexington, coming off of their first score in 3 games, now has the ball in good position.
That was the 45th interception in Cameron Shaw's illustrious career. Also has 6 pick sixes. And this is going to be a handoff only for a couple of yards. I'm okay if you want to run the ball and just in that down, but I think you have to just lean on Kenny Slider from here on out, Anthony. You really have to score, as quickly as you possibly can.
Yeah, your play call needs to change up, and you need to start pressing the ball down the field.
See a man in motion. That's Chris Elther. And Slider will throw. Slider throws deep, and the pass is caught. That's Gabriel Manning for a gain of about 15 and a 1st down. Lexington, who's played much better here over the last 6 or 7 minutes of gameplay.
And we need to hear more of Manning's name and DJ Bandit's name going forward for the rest of the game, because we got to throw the football.
Yeah, and also Alexander West. He's been quiet so far in this game, and kudos for to Carolina for neutralizing them. It's been Davison Joseph on the outside doing a really solid job. Toss play to the outside. That's Deion James. Cannot stiff arm the defender. That's a really good tackle by Danny Stinson. Only a 2-yard gain.
And those linebackers, Stinson, McLean, and Prasad, they are just a phenomenal trio, and they are always around the football.
Bunch formation. Slider to throw. Slider in the pocket. Throws deep, and the pass is caught with a face mask. That is DJ Bandit with another great catch, and tack on 15 more.
Yep, and that's what happens when you throw the football. Things like that can happen. Add 15 more yards there. Now you're looking at you're in the red zone that quickly here. You got to score the ball quick and then get the ball back.
1st and goal at the 10-yard line. 2 tight end set. Slider to throw. Slider under pressure, and he goes down for a 5-yard loss. And that is Hobbs' 2nd sack of the game. He came into this game with only 1 sack the whole season.
And great play call by the defensive coordinator there, Prasad. Calling up a perfect time blitz after you were getting beat on the pass the last few plays.
L.J. Hobbs, the 6'6", 286-pound defensive end, 3rd season all with Carolina. A couple of big plays in this game. You're going to hand the ball off to Ian Francis. He only gets about 2 yards. I know that you want to make it maybe a more manageable or a better situation on 3rd down, but You know, I don't think with the time left that's much worth it. I mean, you only have about 5 minutes left.
Yeah, this is pretty rough clock management going on.
4 receivers set, including trips, top of the screen. Slider to throw. Slider goes to the end zone, and the pass is incomplete with a pass interference. Is going to be called in the end zone, and the ball will be placed at the 1-yard line.
Save right there. Now you got 4 more plays to score here. Now we're looking at, are we in? If we score, is it onside kick? Definitely a pass interference. You got to let them put their hands up.
Yeah, and that's the second penalty on defense for Rochelle Colston, and both of them very costly. 1st and goal. Are they gonna go shotgun here? Shotgun 2 backs. See, they try to do some kind of draw or something. Oh, they're gonna throw. Slider throws to the end zone, and the pass is caught for a touchdown anyway. That's Chris Arthur with the catch and the touchdown. And not over yet. I mean, with an extra point, it's gonna be a 10-point ball game still with almost 5 minutes left in the game.
No, it's a quick drop. Get the ball out on a curl route there. Now you're potentially down by 10. What an onside kick should be coming up.
That was Chris Arthur's 3rd receiving touchdown on the season, and believe it or not, folks, he leads the team in receiving touchdowns. Like, if I know correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, that was his 1st catch of the night, and that means that now he has 9 catches this year, 3 of them for touchdowns.
Very efficient.
It's going to be returned past the 20-yard line, past the 25, and a fumble, and I think Lexington has it, but let's see the flag. Oh, it's going to be face mask, and that's going to erase the fumble.
Oh.
No, Carolina was called for it. Carolina was called for the face mask after the fumble. This is Lexington football.
And this is the perfect script for Lexington. Now you got the ball back. Less than 30 yards to go to get a score.
Even a field goal makes it a 1-possession game. Slider to throw. Now he will scramble. Slider a little bit slow. You can see the fatigue kicking in. 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6. And let's send it over to Cameron Irvine for a game break update. Cam, what you got for us?
Yeah, your game's not the only one that's going crazy. Los Angeles only down by 4 to Washington, and watch Bubba Tree get through everybody on special teams. Punt return score. LA up on Washington 17-14 in the 3rd as Lexington tries to get back in this thing with Carolina. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam. That was about a 4-yard pickup here in Lexington. It's going to be 3rd down and 1. And Carolina desperate to get a stop now all of a sudden. I know they have a 10-point lead, but you know, they're on their heels right now. It's going to be a 1st down here for Ian Francis, Rochelle Colston on the stop.
And I think if they score here, you don't really have to initially go for an onside kick.
Oh. Handoff on the power play, maybe a yard. Actually, they're going to say it's 2. And now they're going to no huddle.
Yeah, keep that same defense in the field.
Slider to throw the pass, trying to connect with Bandit in one-on-one coverage, and Mojo McClain again in coverage, making a big-time play.
Now, just be careful going in the double coverage. You have a field goal right now. You're well in then your kicker's range, but obviously you want to score.
4 receivers set, dime defense for the Skyhawks. Lexington Miners all of a sudden with a breath of life. Slider to throw. Slider with time, throws to the end zone, and the pass is deflected away and incomplete. Rochelle Colston making up for her pass interference on the last drive with a pass deflection. 4th down and 8, and Lexington will have to kick a field goal and make it a 7-point game.
Regardless of the penalties and what happened the last few drives, Carolina is going to stay aggressive in the pass defense, and you saw it right there. Almost got the interception. They're going to take gambles, and sometimes it's going to reward them, and sometimes it's going to hurt them. Good stop there. 4th down. Now holding them to a potential field goal.
4th down and 8. They were going to kick the field goal, which is up and barely through, but through anyways. 24-17. And I mean, it's a 1-possession game, Anthony.
10 unanswered points. This is a 1-score game. If you're Carolina, you got to secure the football, protect the football. And when you get on offense, you want to run and force them to use the timeouts.
We might see an onside, and we will. I mean, Carolina's just fumbled the ball in the previous one. They're having issues holding on to the ball. Not issues there, as this is going to be a stiff arm and a return past the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. No. Dude, stop at the 1-yard line. I don't know why he's on there. He had a clear road to the end zone. But anyway, Carolina will get the ball at the 1. What a wacky return. What a wacky play at the end of the game.
And just like if we rewind it, you didn't have to do the onside kick because you have time. But then you do the onside kick, and Banks catches it clean, stiff arm everybody on the football field. And honestly, Ramos, that's perfect. You didn't score, right? So you're going to run the football, you're going to run some clock.
Actually, yes. And Adam Banks, man, who just said he wanted his first touchdown as a Skyhawk, twice is stopped at the 1-yard line. Handoff. And not going to get much, a loss of 2 yards. But to your point, Carolina wants to bleed as much time as possible off the clock here. I mean, it's actually a pretty good scenario to just run the clock down as much as you can. You know, even past the 2-minute warning and, you know, kick a field goal, make it a 2-possession game.
It's the perfect thing. I know Adam wanted his first touchdown, and you will get it. Trust me. But this is right here, the perfect script for you. Now you run the ball all 3 downs. You don't get it, kick a field goal, you're up by 2 scores.
High formation heavy. Keep it on the ground. McBride will get 1 on the play. It should be the last play before the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, don't run the ball. Don't do anything until the 2-minute warning. And now you're gonna be with a big 3rd down here. I'm blitzing if I'm Lexington, try to force them to a field goal, because if they get a touchdown, that might be the nail in the coffin.
Not gonna snap the ball. 2 minutes left. Carolina 24, Lexington 17. Lexington scoring 17 on answer after Carolina scored the first 24. Just might be enough for the Skyhawks to win this game. You're watching the Simulation Football League right here on BFN. And this is the great thing about the SFL, Anthony. I mean, 2-5 Lexington against 1-6 Carolina, giving us just a hell of a ball game. Handoff to the outside. Can he get there? Yes. Riley Quintero gets in for the touchdown. That should seal this game.
What a way for Carolina to stay composed after a wild 4th quarter of fumbles and turnovers, but just hung on to the running back in the running game there, getting what potentially could be the game-sealing touchdown.
The extra point by Brown is up and good, and Carolina leads 31-17. And on Sunday, an SFL 4-pack of games gets started with Baltimore and Florida in need of a win, plus Sin City and Chicago, Vancouver, Albuquerque, and Bossier City and Oklahoma City. Coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The SFL lives on the Virtual Football Network, and this kick is going to the back of the end zone for a touchback. Lexington, they still have 3 timeouts, Anthony.
Yeah, they still have it, but they have to pick up the tempo here. This is when you get rid of the running game. You got to throw the ball.
3 touchdowns for Riley Quintero, ties his career high, at least here in this era, so his most in the last 5 seasons at least. This is going to be a drag route, maybe a gain of 5. Lexington forced to call their first timeout. But you have to attack deep and to the sidelines now.
Yeah, you got to get out of bounds. Carolina's gonna give you the short passes underneath.
Yeah, Carolina, I expect them to run, some sort of like, quarters coverage, Tampa 2, just everything underneath is fine. Just like that, Bandit actually gets the catch. And maybe for the better if he didn't catch the ball, because
Yeah.
right now the time is more important than getting 3 yards. Lexington has to call their second timeout.
And like I said, they're gonna give you everything underneath. They're gonna make you use your timeout. Right now, you gotta be in a no huddle situation.
Kenny Slider, 50% completion rate, a couple touchdowns. He throws deep and the pass is picked off. That one will seal it. That's Rochelle Colston, who had a couple of tough breaks here in the fourth quarter. Makes a couple of big-time stops late. Getting that pass deflection and getting this interception to seal this one out.
And what she just did, she just called game. That's when you call game right there. Game sealing interception, and they never let go of what they believed in when it comes to the pass coverage. And they go after the ball. They get the turnovers that they need to, and that's a beautiful play by Colston.
Speaking about illustrious careers as defensive back, Rochelle Colston now with her 65th career interception. This is going to be a run by Quintero, gets 6. I mean, 2-time All-Star in 13 seasons, 65 interceptions, so averaging about 5 picks a season. Just an outstanding safety.
Ball hawking safety, and they're just happy to have her back.
Strong eye formation for Carolina. They just want to run off the clock, and that they will with this first down. Lexington out of timeouts. We will see Carolina go in a couple of kneel downs, and this one is going to be over. And Anthony, I think, for Carolina, I don't know if it's too little too late here this season. They will go up to 2-6. Obviously, their ceiling is a 6-6 campaign. But, we talk about their talent, and the talent was on display here in this game. I think this is just a bump on the road, and I think they will be back in season 26 at full force.
We knew they had this, right? We knew Carolina had this all in there, and you know what? This is maybe something that it might not be them getting into the playoffs, which you never know. Anything can happen. But this is the Carolina offense and team that we expect all along, and we saw a really great game out of them. And shout out to Lexington for making it competitive in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, good fight for Lexington. Kenny Slider, had that interception at the end, but obviously, he needed to make something happen. I mean, that's I cannot put a lot of fault on Kenny Slider on that one. For Carolina, just looking at the roster, right? Brian Dynasty, former league MVP, a 3-time All-Star champion. Riley Quintero has been an All-Star. You look at Chris Curtis, 4-time All-Star. Those are guys that are franchise guys, and I think they'll turn it around and bounce back for sure. 31-17 is the end of this one, folks. Carolina beats Lexington. They get off to a very hot start, 24-0, and then they hold on to the end. Super chat by Shravan Prasad. GG's. Thank you, Shravan. $31 super chat for the 31 points that Carolina just hung on the board. And Anthony, just want to get your last thoughts, players of the game. What you got?
The way I look at it for Carolina, the play of the game, I appreciate the whole defense there. Colston getting her game sealing interceptions. I'm gonna give her the game ball. But Carolina now is walking into the last 4 games. 3 of them are division games. You're 1-0 in division right now. I don't know. Something can happen if you run the table.
Something could happen. I'm gonna give it to Mojo McClain. Actually, I'm gonna go with one of those defensive players. Mojo McClain was sensational in the first half, forcing a fumble, being in coverage all over the place. For Anthony Ellison, who was my color commentator, Ike McBride, on the stats. This is Ramos Lynn, Cameron Irvine producing. Thank you very much for watching Saturday Night Football, and I'll see y'all next time. Good night.